We debate a lot if women can be leaders in the church. But here's the thing. In the early church, women were already leaders. If you look in the book of Romans, in the last chapter, in chapter 16, Paul is giving his final greetings to people. And what you'll notice in Romans chapter 16 is that he's mentioning men and women. It paints this picture that men and women were working together in the early church to help Paul in his ministry and to advance the gospel. It wasn't really this war of who's in charge, who's not in charge. It was like a unified front of men and women working together. In fact, he calls Junia an apostle. And not only she's called an apostle, but she's called an apostle of note, which means that if she was on a basketball team, she'll be like LeBron James or Michael Jordan. So not only was she an apostle, but she was a great apostle. Also, you have a lady named Phoebe. Phoebe is called a deacon in the church. And interesting about Phoebe, Paul says that Phoebe was a helper to him and many others. In the Young's Little Translation, the way it describes Phoebe, it says that Paul says Phoebe was a leader of others and a leader of me. Because here's the thing. Jesus says those who are going to be leaders are going to be servants. So this woman, Phoebe, was a servant of Paul and others. So by Jesus' definition, Phoebe was a leader. And that's how Paul acknowledges her as a leader. Paul also acknowledges Aquila and Priscilla. They're a husband and wife who's over a church. So this is maybe the first instance of a husband and wife team pastoring a church together. There's not a distinction like the husband's the pastor and the wife is supporting. It's like they're doing this together. So the model of the husband and the wife pastoring together is an early church model, not a new concept that we created in 2025. So women were leaders in the early church. And Paul shows his gratitude in the book of Romans for the leadership of men and the leadership of women.